very good noon to all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. Need to know this? Hi Varun, hi. I welcome you to this session. Snap most scoring areas, things that you must do before the 10th, right? Things that will help you score 15 on 15 in the general English section. Trust me, it's not at all ask. Actually, in fact, everyone I feel can very easily score a 10 plus at least in the English section, the general English section. Okay, did it contain the trickiest RCs? I didn't feel that one of the slots, let's say in CAT, was way tougher than the other slot. I didn't get that feeling. So, because one difficult passage, let's say in every slot, was compensated by one easy passage. That is what I saw in all the three slots for that matter. So, I did not feel that, Varun, that slot 3 was in fact the trickiest. I did not feel that. Hello, hi Amrit, hi Nihar, hello Purva, hello Charu, hi Balraj. A very good noon, a very good noon. So some of you must be taking Snap on the 10th itself, right? So it becomes important to know what are the things that you can do in these remaining 7, 8 days that you have. Yes, don't discount them. Don't think that you do not have time at all. Considering that there are just 15 questions in general English and you will be able to attempt these 15 questions, you'll be able to look at these in 8 to 10 minutes. It's actually a very good idea to prepare as well for them as you can so that at least these 15 questions are sorted, right? Before we begin, I want to make this announcement. So, MyCat is tomorrow, 3rd December, and we'll be coming live with an analysis of MyCat. So, those of you who are taking it can join us. We'll give a section wise analysis. We'll, of course, talk about the difficulty level and we'll talk about the good attempts as well. So, Srinivas sir is taking it. Do join. Okay. The overall target score, Kartike, again, as I always say, the overall depends on what your goal is in terms of percentile, what all colleges you are targeting, what your goal is, which area do you want to go in, because Symbiosis is these specialized colleges for various specializations. So all of that depends on what your goal is, right? However, yes, generally in Snap, the cutoffs, as in people tend to score higher. So your aim should really be to maximize your score rather than having any targets in your mind, right? Because the paper is relatively on the easier side as compared to other exams, so students do score well in Snap, right? Okay, so today we'll talk about the most scoring areas in general English. We'll also see what we can do to score in these areas, and we'll of course solve some questions. That's always there, right? So with this in mind, let's begin. Now, in general English particularly, what are the scoring topics or question types? So, why I have listed these, I'll tell you the rationale also. Error spotting, I feel that it's an easy question type because you only have to spot the error. So, when you read a sentence and you feel that something is off here, just knowing where it is off, okay, that is sufficient. You're not asked to correct the sentence as such. So that's why I feel that this is an easy question type, unless and until, of course, I frame an extremely difficult question on this question type tends to be easy. So do prepare for such questions. Do practice from your previous year papers. Prepositions I have written here because 2 to 3 questions separately can be asked on prepositions. While other parts of speech can also be questioned on, of course, they have been questioned on in the past. Prepositions is one important area that has been questioned on specifically. And that's why we should prepare for it specifically. Right? So I'll show you what all question types come in prepositions and how you can prepare for them. We'll discuss that. Fill in the blanks based on vocabulary. Primarily, I wanted to say contextual vocabulary tends to be scoring. Why? Because you have the help of the surrounding words. So instead of, let's say, a direct synonym antonym question wherein you need to know the meaning, okay, or you need to have at least some idea about the meaning, in fill in the blanks at times, even when you do not know the meaning of the word per se, through elimination and through the surrounding words, you can actually narrow down to two, or you can sometimes narrow down to the correct answer itself. So that's why contextual vocabulary, fill in the, no matter whether it is in the form of fill in the blanks, whether it is in the form of underlined words, that can be scoring in case you read the context well. Lastly, parajumbles. Why I have written them? Because here you do have options. Here the questions are not as tricky, primarily because of the presence of the options, right? So it makes sense to attempt these questions. Okay, so these, in my opinion, are the 4 scoring question types that you have: error spotting, prepositions, contextual vocabulary, and parajumbles. And you should prepare for them from your previous year papers, from your various non-CAT papers, early CAT papers. You'll find ample such questions there. Okay, now coming to our what we should do before the first attempt, basically what we can prepare for, right? Basic knowledge of parts of speech is something that you need to have. Okay, why? Because you are asked questions on identifying parts of speech. Okay, then I have written it like this: various properties of a verb. I'll tell you what I want to say. By this I mean subject verb agreement. A verb, which is a part of speech, has 5 properties: person, number, voice, tense, mood. Person and number form the subject of subject verb agreement, right? So this is where you see, okay, if the subject is in the first person, what verb it will take. If the subject is singular, what kind of verb will it take. Those sorts of decisions are made here. Voice is simply active passive, and last year a question did come on it, and it did require some thinking. It was not an extremely easy question, I would say. Tenses is an evergreen topic and a favorite of examiners when they ask questions on grammar. So, of course, you have to be well versed with your tenses. In mood, particularly, I'm talking about conditionals. Hypothetical conditionals is what I'm talking about. If I were a butterfly, I would fly high, right? So, those sorts of sentences. Then countable, uncountable nouns I wrote here because see, you will be taking IFT also, some of you. Yes, so if you open your last year IFT papers, you were questioned extensively on nouns and verbs there in grammar, and particularly countable and uncountable nouns, this property. So that's why I wrote it here as well, because see, it's not like what you have been asked in the last years only that will be asked. You can be questioned on countable, uncountable nouns in SNAP as well. And it's a very fertile ground to create errors. So that's why I feel that you can prepare for this. It's not even a lengthy topic as such to prepare for. So I think if you sit, let's say, with just one topic every day, even then you can prepare for all of these, right? And you should definitely solve your previous year papers in a timed manner. That will tell you how you're able to manage your time in the exam between various among various sections. Okay, all right. Now, so let's have a look at our first question for the day. I have a lot of questions for you, right? So that's why I want us to cover a lot of ground in this time that we have. So let's have a look at the first question: error detection. You have to tell me which part is erroneous here. If there's no error, of course, you'll say no error. Tell me. Yes. Okay, I'm just looking at some of your queries. Let me address them also while you answer this. Uh, Overall target score, see again, I can just comment on the basis of the previous years. So I think you should target a score of 45. Okay, if you target 45, I believe that you will be able to create, you'll be able to clear a lot of cutoffs for a lot of top colleges of symbiosis. Provided the difficulty level is similar to the last year papers, that caveat is always there. So I believe the target should be 45 in case you want to be very safe and secure about getting admission in the top colleges, right? Okay, so I hope this clarifies your query, Kartike. SIBM Bangalore, in the past they've been in the late 30s. SIBM Bangalore IIT, so late 30s, 37, 38 itna gaya in the past. A score of 13 snap can help me to choose SIBM. SIBM Pune. No, a score of 30 will not be sufficient for that, Varun. No, a score of 30 will not be enough. You have to think in 40s. Okay, and that too, see, you have to target 43 plus at least, right? No, not for the other sections, Prerna. You'll get the important topics for other sections with other teachers. Okay, so we have a number of other sessions also, DILR sessions, font sessions. So there you'll get those topics. Okay, so I think I have clarified some of your queries and you have given me the answer for this. I'll look at the other queries also. So let's space it in between questions, right? So I've got D, C, B. All right, all right. Okay. Now, this is actually a parallelism question. If I have to give you the name of the topic. Now you must be thinking, I didn't even list that topic there. Then why have I given such a question here? Because the error spotting could be on any topic out there in grammar. No, it doesn't have to stick to parts of speech only. So that's why this question. The descendants of Thomas Henry Huxley not only inherited his flair for argument, but also his affinity. So but also, not only, but also. This is a correlative conjunction pair, meaning that they always come together in a sentence. If you write not only, you'll have to write but also later on, right? So parallelism says if you write X, if you write the phrase X after not only and you write the phrase Y after but also, they should be consistent with each other. They should be similar to each other. ये similar दिखने चाहिए, right? What does that mean? So if after not only you have a verb here, inherited, then after but also you should have a verb here, which is not the case. That is the error in this sentence. So, you know what we can do? A very simple way to address this problem is you take this inherited here. So the descendants of Thomas Huxley inherited not only what? Not only his flair, but also his affinity. Problem sorted. I just needed to bring this inherited out of the not only wala equation. So once I do that, I have identified my error and B is the answer here. B was the erroneous fragment. Okay. I hope this makes sense to you. All right, all right, all right. Just a second. Okay, okay. Should have the, okay, if not only was after the verb, then verb inherited, then it would have been correct. Yes, yes, yes. Then it would be correct. Absolutely correct. Okay, so B is the answer here. I hope this clarifies your query. Okay. Next question, your typical error spotting question. This one is for my parents, two is for this. Okay, so you have to tell me which fragments have an error. Spot the error. Okay, 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 okay. Cause and effect. All right, all right, all right. Just a second, just a second. I'm repeating this. I'm repeating this. To some of you, this is not clear. See, either I say this, that not only inherited his flair for argument, but also inherited his affinity for sweeping questions. The descendants not only inherited X, but also inherited something else. Okay, so now the form is consistent. After not only I have a verb, a pronoun and a noun, similarly verb, pronoun and a noun. Consistent. But a more efficient solution, more concise solution is that you say this. The descendants of Thomas Huxley inherited, and just delete inherited from there, from here. They inherited not only his flair for argument, but also his affinity. Okay, it's like a list that is given to you. They inherited X also and Y also. So they inherited, what you are doing is just adding not only before X and but also before Y. Make sense? Inherited now works for, once you take it out of this, no, it works for this also, his flair also, it works for his affinity also. दोनों के लिए work कर रहा है अब ये verb. ठीक है? Once you take it out of the not only but also equation. Clear, Ankita? Amrit? Abhinav? I hope this is clear. ठीक है, okay. So let's come to our next question then, if this is clear. So what do you say? What is the error? Some of you have already answered. 3 is what you say. Okay. But Nihar, Abhinav, they say 2. Okay. So, is it 2? Is it 3? So, those who are saying 2, they are saying 1 is also erroneous. What is the error in 1? Yes. What is the error in 1? There is an error. Absolutely. See, parents should not be capitalized, right? It's not a proper noun. This is a snap previous year question. And that's why I picked it up. Because this is the kind of error that nobody notices. Yes? We are so bothered about parts of speech and other stuff that we never really notice that, oh, this has been capitalized here. And some of us might think, oh, this is a typo. This is not a typo. This came in a previous year and this was an error there. Parents should not be capitalized. It's a common noun. My parents are Indians, but I was born and brought up in Sydney. You can't say I am born. Abhi abhi thodi huye ho. Right? I was born and brought up in Sydney. So 2 is the answer here and not 3. Okay. So just wanted to take this up because it's a previous year question and we should be alert towards such errors as well. Okay. Look at another error detection question. You have to find the erroneous fragment again. Okay. Let's see what you say. Meanwhile, I'm reading some of your queries that I may not have addressed. Yes, Divya, you have to apply separately to various colleges in SNAP. That's how it works. So since, I didn't apply for various colleges separately, I keep getting calls from them. Satyam, I would not recommend a specific book as such for SNAP because uh, see, there is no official guide that SNAP authorities extend to you, unlike NMAT. So whatever books that you have, they will be more general in nature rather than focus specifically towards an exam. So instead, I think you have ample material in previous year non-CAT papers. So if you want to do something general only, why buy a book? Just go for previous year non-CAT papers, previous year SNAP memory-based papers, whatever is available, right? So go for those. You need not buy a book as such. All right. So A, B, D also have got. D also have got. Snap and Zat together. Prerna, I'll address this. Okay, I'll address this. Okay. Just give me a second. A, B. All right. I think I've got a lot of A's and B's. The sound was taken up by another dog, and then another and another. Till, borne on the wind which now sighed softly through the pass, a wild howling began, which seemed to come from all over the country, as far as the imagination could grasp them through the gloom of the night. Okay, so one fragment has an error, and this seems to be a very literary sentence. Yes, this is not like your normal formal sentence. So, borne on the wind. Is this correct? Borne on the wind. Is this phrase correct? Borne here means carried. So carried on the wind. Would that be a correct phrase? Tell me. Or should it be some other preposition that is needed here? The error is a preposition error. Okay. Carried by the wind and not carried on the wind. So similarly, borne by the wind and not borne on the wind. And that is why the erroneous part is B. Good. Those of you who identified it. Okay, now those of you who said A, C, other options, you must have thought of something, right? Which part did you feel have an error? Decision making classes, absolutely, Gaurav, we'll have them. You need not worry about it. Borne through the wind. Actually, when we say carried, no, carried by the wind is more appropriate. So basically the wind was carrying it. Borne through the wind, I haven't heard this expression as much as borne by something. Okay, so I think by is a more appropriate preposition here. Them in D is correct. Okay, as far as the imagination could grasp them, what does this them refer to? Yes. So what does this them refer to? From all over the country, as far as the imagination could grasp them through the gloom of the night. What is the imagination trying to grasp? That's the question here. Tell me. So we are talking about the sounds here, right? But is the word sounds written? Let me just, the sound was taken up and then another borne by the wind, which now, okay, a wild howling began. As far as the imagination could grasp them through the gloom of the night. I never really paid attention to this because borne on the wind is definitely incorrect, right? But actually, there should have been an antecedent for them also. You are right. There should have been a noun. Grasp them. There should have been a noun, a plural noun here, for which we refer to, for which, we say them. So, let me think about this. Probably, there has to be some context, and then it is this them refers to that context. But ideally, that should not happen in a grammar question. However, the answer is B. About that, I'm sure, because borne on the wind is definitely incorrect. Okay, and again, this is a previous year question. Okay, so in that year, the answer extended was B only. Okay, and गलत तो है वाला, but still let me think. Them किसको refer कर सकता है? What is it that they're trying to convey to us, right? And are they relying on some previous context? Let me just search. Okay, all right. ठीक है. But the wind is, but why is the imagination trying to grasp the dogs? Those who are saying dogs, it can't be dogs really. Why would the imagination try to grasp dogs? That does not make sense. Okay. So let me think about this, what they are referring to. Maybe I can search for the context, okay, and then this will be clearer. Meanwhile, you guys attempt this question, okay? The answer is B. Okay. Meanwhile, let me just go back to something that I didn't address. Amrit, for GK sessions, just check once. I mean, again, you can just go to the channel and see the videos there or search ZAT GK BYJU'S. Even if you search like this, you will get various sessions for ZAT and IFT that have, if let's say some latest sessions have happened, they'll appear. But yes, we do conduct sessions for them near IFT and ZAT. That is something that I know of. I don't know of the current schedule. Okay. And SIMS Pune, if you are talking about this college, I think the target score should be 33. So 33 is something that you should target for that. Someone asked this earlier. Okay. All right. Ayushi, yes, I have taken a session on verbal reasoning. Okay. And in that session, we talked about both cause effect, course of action, and we talked about some other verbal reasoning topics such as statement assumption, statement conclusion. So you can just search for verbal reasoning in our, again, just search for it in the channel and you'll find it. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. A, C, B. All right. This is what I've got, A, C and B. So basically you think that this is erroneous, but you differ in your answers. There is something that is erroneous, absolutely correct. This is again a preposition error question. Okay, just like the previous one was a preposition error question. After taking charge as PM, the citizens were apprised of. Apprised is always followed by of. Apprised is informed. Apprised means to apprise someone of something is to inform them of something. And after this, you have to use the preposition of. That was missing here, and that was the error, right? And I understand that this is quite on the verge. Okay, some of you might say that why not see then? But honestly, such a question should not be framed. But because it has been framed, right? Again, a previous year question, because this has been framed, B was extended as the answer there because after apprised of is actually a phrasal verb. Phrasal verb is a phrase containing a verb plus a preposition or adverb. So this apprised of is a phrasal verb, and that is why B is the erroneous part here. Okay. All right. I hope this makes sense, everyone. Okay. Now look at this one. Fill in the blanks based on vocabulary and grammar. So this is a combination question. Vocab and grammar combined. You can get such questions as well. So tell me, the word piety is a dash, which part of speech, and means dash. Let's see what you say. So Prerna asked this a while back, how to study for SNAP and ZAT together. See, for that, you need to practice, at least for the English section, you need to practice RC passages extensively. Okay, and I think that previous year, nothing like that previous year papers to do this, because the kind of passages that are asked in that, they are more abstract, they are more philosophical, they are followed by more further application questions, and there are 5 options, so it becomes a game of elimination. Right. So you need to practice RC passages primarily. There are a couple of vocab and grammar questions asked in that also. And when you prepare for SNAP, indirectly you will be preparing for them for that as well. But as far as RC passages, critical reasoning and parajumbles के लिए भी चलो आप SNAP के लिए थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ोगे. So even parajumbles also will be sorted here as well. But these you have to do separately. Okay, they are not related to SNAP as such. So this preparation will have to go on separately, and I would suggest that the best source again for it is previous year papers. I would not recommend any separate books to you for this. Okay, so RCCR ये separate preparation करना पड़ेगा. Okay, hope this answers your query. All right, all right. Now I think you must have answered this by now. Shyam, usually I think yes, in the application form part 2, there was an option wherein I could apply for colleges again, yes, by paying a fee of 1,000 rupees, right? So I think, I didn't open that part because I didn't have to apply for various colleges. But if you opened it, if let's say it had options for various colleges out there and you marked all of them, then you need not worry. Okay. Others can guide Shyam regarding this. I think your fellows will be able to guide you better regarding this because I didn't open that part. Okay. So the word piety is a noun, absolutely correct. Pious is an adjective. Pious is an adjective. Piety is a noun form of this very adjective. It means holy, pure, right? That's the meaning. So it's a noun. And it means, yes, when you are a devotee, see, devote, this term comes from devotee only. Devotee is the noun form. Devote is when you're devoted to something. So devoteness, okay, holiness. It's used in religious contexts, right? So B is the answer. Again, a very easy question, right? Once you realize that it's a noun, even if you don't know the meaning of the word, even if you just know that, okay, it's a noun, it's not a verb, does not represent an action, It's definitely not a pronoun, and it's not even an adverb. So बहुत easy question था ये. So you do get quite a few such questions in Snap which are easy. So 7 to 8 of your questions, let me assure you, even if the paper tomorrow comes out to be difficult, 7 to 8 questions easy आएंगे 15 में से, right? So even if English is not your strength, general English is not your strength, you can still fare decently in your general English section. Now, coming to the next fill in the blank, there is just one blank here, vocabulary. Let's see. Oh, okay, Amrit, sorry. Just a second. Yes. Wait. Were apprised. I didn't see this. I am sorry. It's been a while since I saw these questions, okay? Uh, you are right. C is the erroneous part because I didn't see this regarding. I thought it's straight away the current situation. An erroneous preposition has been used here. Regarding as a preposition should not be used here. Of should be used here. So absolutely correct. The answer should be C. Answer C hoga isme. My bad. Okay. So apologies for this. Here it should be C. And I also have to tell you about that them wala part. Yes. Coming to fill in the blanks. One blank. Okay. Some of you answered one C, one B. That's what I've got so far. Okay. Let's see. So what I have got primarily is B and C, but more of C, right? So let's have a look what the answer should be. Despotic, absolutely correct. Those who are saying C. See, we are talking about a government. Okay, so we are calling the government corrupt. Now, demeaning, I understand. See, these are negative words. These are negative words, all of them. Demeaning is when you try to disparage someone, when you try to belittle someone. So, belittling is demeaning, disparaging is demeaning. However, because it's a government and we're even using the word feudal, feudalism, in that you used to have feudal lords and then you used to have the worker class, the peasants, who used to work for very in under very bad working conditions and very bad remuneration also, right? So feudalism indicates this dictatorship sort of a rule. So that's why despotism or despotic here is the better word choice as compared to, let's say, demeaning. Dwindling means decreasing. You can't say that the government is dwindling. The government's influence could dwindle. Okay, we could say that the government's influence is dwindling, right? So, therefore, this does not fit. Similarly, we can't say that the government is devalued. Currency is devalued. Something that decreases in its value is devalued. So, again does not fit. So A, B could be rejected easily. Between C and D, despotic fits better because we are talking about a government. So despotic means dictatorial, and feudal was written here as a clue. A very easy question in my opinion. Okay, right. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, let's see what you say here. This is a sort of a poem here. Apparel is a word that is there in the poem. You have to tell me what the answer should be. Yes. Which part of speech does apparel belong to? Yes. Okay. I think I'm pretty behind in the chat box. I'm reading your queries pretty late. That's because a lot of them are coming my way. Sectional cutoffs. I'm here right now. No sectional cutoffs in Snap. B is what you say. B, C, okay, but mostly B. Okay. There was a time when meadow, grove and stream, the earth and every common sight, to me did seem, apparelled in celestial light. Apparelled here means clothed, right? So to apparel someone is to clothe someone. It's an action. Okay. If I say that they were apparelled in celestial light, okay, so this is the passive form of the verb here, right? It looks like an adjective, but it is actually a verb here, just the passive form of the verb, right? So instead of this, the answer here is C. It is not describing. I am saying they were clothed in it. And so basically, some as if somebody has dressed them like this, or as if somebody has apparelled them like this. Think of it like that. Okay. So that's how this has to be a verb. It is not an adjective. Make sense to you? It seemed. It seemed. How did it seem? It seemed apparelled. Okay. So you are saying that in that case, how did it seem to me? It seemed dressed. Okay, so dressed is describing something here. No, in that case, if I'm talking about seem, if I'm talking about seeming, it seemed like this to me. How it, तो तब तो adverb हो जाएगा वो. From what you are saying by your logic, in that case, it will be an adverb. No, it's a verb actually. See, you can even Google this. Oxford Dictionary says that apparel or to clothe someone, right? These are both verbs. Okay. These are used as verbs also. So ये बस उसका passive form है. यहाँ पे ये describe नहीं कर रहा, हमें बोल रहे हैं कि dressed by, that by part is missing. Okay, by someone, by something. Okay, that part is missing. So that's why it's a passive form of the verb here, not an adjective. Okay. All right. So this poem-based structure, this has been popular, I think, since no, for the last 2 years. Yes, it came last year also and last to last year also, asking you parts of speech that are present in from using the words that are present in various poems. Okay, so this has been happening for the last 2 years. Now, contextual vocabulary. There is an underlined phrase. You have to tell me the meaning. Yes. Okay. Hobson's choice. Tell me. Hobson's choice. What is the meaning? Abhinav, for parts of speech, see, if you want to get a basic knowledge of the various parts of speech, then I would say Renan Martin is the best source because it covers various rules regarding them and it does not, I mean, again, it's just basic knowledge. So, for instance, for advanced knowledge, you can study various other grammar books, but I don't think you require that much knowledge. So, Renan Martin is the best choice. Some students go for Raymond Murphy also, that is also fine. Okay. C, okay. Absolutely correct. See, it's not a real choice, isn't it? If I tell you, you either get a toll bridge or nothing at all, then it's not a real choice, right? So such a choice is called Hobson's choice. Hobson was actually a carrier. So back when people used to travel on horses, there used to be these carriers, right? Who would lend their horses to people, and people could straight away ride those horses. So what happened was that at that time, people used to have their favorite horses. That okay, I want to travel on this horse only. So because of that, Hobson's some of the Hobson's horses were overworked because they were favorites, and that's why he decided that if, let's say, he's standing outside a building, people who come out of the building and say, I want that horse, so he would not offer them that horse. He would say, you can just choose the one that is standing nearest to the door, or you get nothing. I am not offering you those favorites, right? So then this became popular as Hobson's choice. Basically, this person was not offering any real choice at all to the people. So that's why an apparent choice. This is the answer. Okay. Now again, we have a very popular poem by Robert Frost, and based on the poem, you have to match the following. Okay, you have to tell me which parts of speech these words belong to. Yes. All right. Let's see what you say. Abhinav, yes, the sessions will be on the YouTube channel. I am there in the chat box. How to increase accuracy in general English? Sannidhi is asking that. See, so I would have told you that, okay, attempt the vocabulary section first, the vocabulary area first, then grammar. But honestly, I would say that, okay, look at the questions in the order in which they appear and just keep on attempting them, because it's just vocabulary and grammar primarily. Okay, primarily vocabulary and grammar. So it doesn't really matter which one you do first. It's all a matter of which comes easier in the paper. I can't say that, okay, grammar tends to be easier. No, you can frame difficult questions on grammar also, and you can frame easy questions on vocabulary also. So I would say that just keep on dealing with them as they come to you, but don't get stuck anywhere. Try to have this target of attempting your questions in 8 to 10 minutes. If VRC happens to be your strength, if, let's say, you feel that you can score really well here, then probably a couple of minutes extra. Otherwise, 10 minutes would be sufficient if there are no RCs, right? So just keep that in mind, and the accuracy will take care of itself. Don't make wild guesses. Okay, there's negative marking, so you don't want to get a negative. That's all about it, because स्नैप में RCs नहीं होते हैं, तो as such इतना बहुत strategize आपको करना नहीं होता. Okay. All right. So C is the answer that I'm getting. Okay. So let's see. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. I'm sorry. So when I say I am sorry, I am sorry. So what is sorry there? I'm sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. What is be? ये तो बहुत easy है. Yes, isn't this the easiest? Be. What is it? Is it a pronoun? No. So one is eliminated. Is it an adjective? Not at all. It's not even an adverb. It is a verb. So be is 4. Uh, okay, I think I should have done this also. Sorry for this. 3 is B, and 3 happens to be 4. So, but that does not help us a lot. See, the examiner is also clever. Yes, does not help us a lot. What is not? Interesting question. What is not? I have not done this. What is the not here? Anybody? It's actually an adverb. It's an adverb, this not. So the answer is C. Okay. Sorry is an adjective because I am sorry. So it is describing my state currently, right? Sorry happens to be an adjective. Both refers to something. Both refers to the roads. Because it refers to them, that's why it's a pronoun. It is referring to the noun roads. ठीक है? So sorry हो गया adverb, both हो गया sorry हो गया adjective, both हो गया pronoun. Be is a verb, not is an adverb, and this perfectly matches my option C. C is the answer. Parajumbles, sentence correction and grammar. No, Abhinav, you have to prepare for vocabulary as well, right? For vocabulary, what you can do at this stage, let's say you're appearing on the 10th, I would not, of course, recommend you various lists or various books. In that case, I'll just ask you that go through your previous year papers, learn words from there. Right. So why I said that what you have to do before in these 7-8 days, why I didn't write vocabulary specifically, because I would not recommend various lists at this stage to you. First previous year papers kar lo, usme jo cover ho raha hai, that's enough. Okay. At this stage. Okay. Now let's look at preposition FIBs. So fill in the blanks dedicated to prepositions. Let's see what you say here. Sometimes they are very easy also, Amrit. So the previous one was a question that I framed myself. Okay. So that's why, it was lengthy also. You don't get match the following based on, you haven't got them in the previous 2 years. So this was a question that I framed myself. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Not is always an adverb, Satvik. Okay. In English language, whenever you have this not, unless let's say you are using it as a one word answer for something, it is always an adverb. Okay. Poems, yes, yes, Kathy, that's why I'm doing them with you. For the last 2 years, you have not been asked any, let's say, comprehension-based questions on poems. You've just been asked parts of speech questions on poems. That's why we are also doing the same with you. Okay. So I've got B, A, all right. The youngsters' innings propelled his team dash a 14-run win dash Lucknow Super Giants. So you propel someone, let's say you are propelling the team towards something or to something, right? So propel them in a direction to something. So to is the preposition that I need here, and you win over another team. They won over another team. They can't win with the other team, on the other team, or to the other team. So it has to be B. This was a very easy question. What is the difference between an adverb and adjective? This is a question that I've just got. Adjectives describe nouns or pronouns. Okay. Whereas adverbs, they describe verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So basically, they are describing very different parts of speech altogether. Okay? So verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Adjectives describe nouns or pronouns. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. Again, a very easy preposition based question. I just want to show you that preposition questions are not always difficult. So please don't think preposition में तो कोई logic ही नहीं follow होता and I'll not prepare for them. Right? Don't think that way. After this, we'll have a look at a parajumble question. Okay, A, B, all right, all right. What do you say? Let's see. D, E, B, all right, all right. D, B versus D. That's what I see in the chat box right now. B versus D. Okay. Let's see. Is it B? Is it D? Let me just come to the slide. One query that I just noticed in the chat box, I want to clarify that, and I will after this question. Now, see, originally in 1906, I think this much was clear to everyone. So based on this, all these other options get eliminated, right? Then, situated at is common in both of them, so it all comes down to the third blank. We say something is steeped in another thing. Steeped means duba hua hona, isn't it? So steeped in another thing. You can't say steeped of history. It has to be steeped in history. So situated at one of London's most historically important addresses. When we say address, so I live at, okay, let's say you could say I live at house I mean, when you give a location approximately, no, then you use at for it. Okay, so for instance, in so and so city, at so and so particular, let's say you have a street there, you have a particular landmark there. For that, you will use at. Okay, so the words are escaping me. I would have given you a specific example, but at for something that is a part of, let's say, a broader thing. So I can name a city here, let's say in Baroda I live at so and so or near so and so market. Okay, it could be a market for that matter. So situated at an important address. The Old War Office, originally completed in 1906, is steeped in history. So in for both of them. D is the answer here. Okay. Acha. Some of you, I just saw that query, were saying, I think this was the question. After taking charge as PM, some of you were saying, why not the here? See, when we say he was elected dash, let's say. Okay, so he was elected the president or he was elected president, which is correct? He was elected president, not the president. However, if I am referring to this big, so when I'm referring to just the post here, he was elected to this office, to this particular post. So he was elected president after taking charge as PM. Again, I'm referring to the office, to the post here. However, if I want to refer to this person, then I will say the PM. Okay, the PM said that we should do this. Okay, then I'll say the PM. यहाँ पर taking charge as a particular post, as a particular office. ये बात हो रही है, and therefore the will not come here. He was elected president, not the president. So similar logic. Okay. Hope this is clear. Let's have a look at a para-jumble question. He is the president of the United States. That is correct. That is correct. Rishabh, what would you write if you could mark on the screen like this? At 6th Avenue. Yes, thank you so much, Vignesh, for giving me an example there. At 6th Avenue. I live at the 6th Avenue. Okay. Let's have a look at this. What should the sequence be? A previous year question, this one. So you are saying A, some of you say D. All right. So is it A? Is it D? I think most of you must have narrowed down to A and D here. Yes. So the question really is it A or is it D? Which is better? So QR, PS or SP. Those who say SP, why? What is your rationale? And those who say PS, what is your rationale? It's parajumbles is all about logic, right? Hmm. Those who say PS, which is D, what is your rationale? So you say we'll say above all first, and then we'll continue the discussion. And then we'll continue the discussion. Or should we say above all later on? We should ideally we say above all when we've mentioned, let's say, other benefits or other uses, right? So that's why P should come towards the end and not S. The answer is A. So Q, polymers are essentially long chains of hydrocarbon molecules. Today, polymers as strong as metals have been developed. So I am, telling you about their benefits in a way or their properties. These strong ones have replaced the traditional chromium plated metallic bumpers in cars. So RS becomes a pair. And then above all, they are cheaper and easier to process. So we are talking about these strong polymers here. Then, the sentence 6 comes. So QRSP, hope this is clear to everyone. Any query, please ask. No, it's not. I said the because it was sixth. Before ordinals, you always put the. Before ordinals, like first, second, third, fourth, you always put the. Okay. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes. Okay then. Okay. This is our Cat 23 program. I have already told you about my cat. Yes. And if any of your friends are preparing, you can please advise them to enroll in this. I hope the session today helped you to define what you have to do in these 7-8 days that you have, right? I think grammar is something that you can prepare for. That's why I listed the grammar topics that you should work on. And when you solve the previous year papers, of course, obviously you will be exposed to vocabulary and parajumbles. That's why I didn't write that separately. Okay. The last lap to snap and IFT. I'll see you again in the evening today at 7 and we will discuss vocabulary today. So some of the vocabulary preparation will happen here. Okay. Also, yes, we can stay connected via Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, all these social media platforms, right? So stay connected. With options, yes, parajumbles are easy. Okay. हाँ जी समीर पूछ लो भाई पूछ लो tones of the passage, yes, please ask. Site for practicing poems or English in general. Aisha, for poems, no. In case you are talking about Snap only, I took a whole session last year, Snap poems. Okay, so there we did a number of stanzas from a number of poems, and we focused on parts of speech through them, right? And last year, the poem that came was pretty easy. I remember. बहुत ही easy सी poem पूछी थी last year actual exam में, and it was a very doable question. So you need not worry a lot about this, but yes, do practice. So you can just search for that session. It's still available over YouTube. The vocabulary session is at 7 p.m. today. SIOM Nashik ka I can tell you. Just a second. As per my data, it is 36. Okay. Expository and descriptive. A good question, Sameer. See, expository means you are trying to convey or explain something to another person. So, for instance, let's say, I know, let's say, just assume this, I know everything about a particular topic, RC passages, let's say, and I am trying to convey it to you, to explain it to you, then my tone will be explanatory or expository. Okay, so my aim is that you understand it. So I'll simplify things for you. I'll give you a lot of examples. So the tone of textbooks usually is expository. Descriptive, on the other hand, is giving details. Okay, descriptive is giving details. So, for instance, let's say you go to a new college and on the first day you have a session with somebody from the administration who tells you, okay, where various things are located. He or she describes the college, the map of the college in detail to you. That is descriptive. Okay. Now, of course, the two can overlap to some extent. because sometimes, let's say, if you don't understand something in my description, I might explain it to you in detail then, so as to convey it to you. So there can be a bit of an overlap, but usually the intention is different. Describe में आप बस डिटेल देना चाह रहे हो, ठीक है, आपका इंटेंशन ये नहीं है कि कुछ समझाना है, whereas in explanatory और expository आपका एक्टिव इंटेंशन ये है कि दूसरे को समझ में आए. Okay. All right, all right. Bye bye, bye bye, bye guys. I'll see you. You can join the other sessions that are going on. Okay. Didactic and persuasive तो बहुत different है. Persuasive is when you want to convince someone. Didactic, on the other hand, is a very teaching and preaching tone. ये बहुत it will be more authoritative, whereas persuasive may not be that authoritative. Okay, so they are pretty different. All right then. Thank you for attending. I'll see you at 7 today. Bye bye. Bye bye. Welcome all of you. Bye bye. Aman, basics. In case you're talking about parts of speech, yes, there are sessions on various parts of speech. Again, you can search for them in the channel. You'll find them. Okay. Bye bye.